Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Let's get her moving and a grooving. Let's create a game. There we go, 10-minute. Let's see what do we got here. Come on. Let me see. Come on. Let's play. Come on. There we go. Now we got somebody. Alright, let's get going on our moves here. First of all, you exchange. Then let's see if we can't get a break in. Let's just bring the rook over. I need to bring the rook over anyways, so it doesn't really hurt anything. And then I'll just push up. Sometimes you have to, and sometimes they actually help you with your moves. If it comes here, we'll welcome that really nicely because we'll just take. And we'll be like, yay. We're happy at that point. You just got to be patient. Remember, patience wins the day. Okay? Patience wins the day. Having to think, our opponent's having to think, what do I want to do? Because there's so many different options here. He could take, and then if he takes, I take with the knight. Now I'm attacking the bishop, and also I have the nice. Oh, I gotta be careful because this pawn would be hanging. I think I'm just gonna retreat real quick and see if I can't grab that. This bishop's stuck here at home guarding this pawn, so I'm really actually okay here. This frees up my bishop. I also can later on reroute. So yeah, you know what? I hate playing slightly passive, but sometimes it's the best you can do in this scenario. And it kind of shocks them when you do that too, as well. Because it's like, he's not attacking. Why isn't he doing something? Why isn't he forcing the situation? I don't want to force the situation. Now I'm going to take. Because I accomplished what I want. I guard this. And I can actually pick up a pawn now. Let's see here. So if I place knight takes, pawn, knight takes. Yeah, I'm gonna do knight takes. Ouch, I think I blundered. Oh no. Did I blunder here? No, I'm okay. I think I could still just play here. Yeah, I didn't blunder. Good, I thought I did. I thought I ran out of spaces for my queen, but I didn't. Because if he goes here, I could just retreat my queen to e5. I thought that might be okay, so whew, that was a close one. Also, oh, interesting. Okay. What in the world? He just he just missed. What? Okay. I got two pieces for the rook, so it's actually a good trade for me. It's guarding this point. The rook's almost trapped. We almost got the rook. almost got his rook trapped. It's so close to being trapped right now. All I have to do is get a bishop there. I got his rook now. Bam. Yes. This is good. We're a full almost 4 minutes ahead of him too. This is perfect. She's feeling our opponent's feeling the pressure. Yep. There we go. Now I'm up in exchange. Let's see, he's got 5 and I have 4. Well, let's clog up this position here. Now I have that. Boom, baby. Let's make a subtle, quick move, and boom, we got it. We're getting close to victory here, guys. We've almost got all of our pieces coordinated properly. Oops, the rook's under fire, so I can always pick that up. Just grab the rook now. I don't think there is any other way to mate. I'll see. Let's take a look. Oh, there was. Snap. What if he checks here, though? Oh, a discovery. Ah, nice. Okay, I knew there was something, but I just figured, you know what? Sometimes the best thing to do is don't risk it. Just grab it. What's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? But so that there's a mate, and let's see, it's here. There. Oh, sorry guys. My chat calling. I knew I forgot something. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. I get into the game so much, I forgot about that. I have to remember to focus down, stay focused. Oops, not two. I only want one. Come on. There we go. There we go. So, come on, don't lag on me. My computer's been lagging a little bit, so it's been doing the responding problem issue. Wham, there we go. Okay. Okay, so how, let's see, okay, there, okay, this actually wins on the spot. Alright, there we go, guys, now we're back. Okay, then you pick it up, okay, alright. So either way, we were doing good. I'm gonna check something out though, because we were doing good all the way through. I just want to make sure that there wasn't like a quicker mate or something. Hey. Alright. I'll check this out. There we go. Oops. Turn off the engine. We don't want engine help. That's not what we want to learn ourselves. Okay. So white versus black. So let's see here. here. Interesting. Very much positional. Yeah, that could be almost predicted, this right here, because black can't allow the opening of the position to come to fruition. Which actually there wouldn't be a problem. I'm surprised black didn't castle though. Maybe he could have castled and after takes. Where to place the bishop? Because you're really... where to place the bishop? Where to place the bishop? Kind of liking... I'm liking c3. And then we can lock that down. And we can control the open file, which does allow our bishop to kind of get developed with their... I don't know, it's kind of... it gives black a bunch of space. So I don't know if black wants space to happen. I mean, white wants space to happen, so... there, okay. F4. D6. And then what we'll do is after we do these two, we'll go into our London system. So takes. And so A3. That stops the knight coming in, and potentially B4, B5. I mean, that's right, B7 to B5. I was thinking of it from white side. So if you take, so okay, it's kind of a different position for sure. This is more of a depth analyzation. It's kind of like a waiting move. Rook F2. A3. Oh, so black did get a squeeze on the queen side. So this is kind of going to be a pickle for the Leela, because the engine's going to have to calculate, is B3, B4 good, is B3 good? You know, something similar to that to kind of open the position. Huh. Wow. So it's... I guess there is no threat, is there? Because this is blocking everything. So there's really no reason to mess around with the queen side. If he locks it down, we're going to go for a king side attack. Got to keep that in mind. Black decides. Okay, back here. Let me see. Maybe takes knight. If bishop takes, well, then that pawn falls, so it has to be knight takes. Well, then we have knight F4. Probably winning the pawn. Maybe something like that, and then you trade off. And no, can't play that. Wow, black's in a. It looks like white's kind of bad, but black's actually in the pincer at this point. I think we're okay at that point. Well, it's about the kingside attack, and when black blocked that down, it's like it's a welcome call for all the pieces to start shifting to the queen side. And look at the barrier of pieces on. It's not even helping the king. The bishop's kind of like awkwardly positioned. You can't go here, there, or there. So the bishop only has these two squares. The knight can't go here or here. So bishop only has those squares. The knight has that square or that square. This knight can't go here. So the knight only has that square to go to, and the queen's blocked in. So the queen has really nowhere to guard either. Yeah, this is a total winning position for white. I'd give it almost a whole pawn plus advantage, in my opinion. It'd be tempting to actually take here, because but I don't think I would because of this threat here. So I kind of wait and let them take, and if he takes here, we just take back and we lock this position up. So takes, bishop takes, queen takes, j takes. Wow. Surprisingly, white has the attack. Nice. Yeah, because the idea is potentially to push or to drop a knight actually here. So if he gets kind of like, I'm just gonna double up, you go, oh, hello, remember me? And then boom, baby, you lose the queen, so the king has to move. The queen's like, thank you for moving so that now I can start coming into the fray. So all we're going to do is reroute more pieces over. Wow, walked right into that. But it's not a check. So now we're bringing, you know what they say, the grandmasters say, bring everything in. There's no real reason to kind of worry. Just, you know what, develop. There's really nothing that black can do if he plays here. So what? You just keep developing it in. And his king's almost totally destroyed. So the next move's more likely gonna be something like that. A5. Wow. Okay. There we go. Boom. See, we talked about that. There it is. There it is. Let's see if we take there. Nope. That doesn't work yet. I think I'm forcing too much. What am I missing here? This reminds me of a game that was played before. I'm missing something here. Oh, knight f4, yeah. That's right. I knew I was missing something there, so the queen's under fire. Queen's got to retreat back. And then now you just bring a knight in. And so the queen has to come up. And then you just take there. It takes, and then you could drop a knight right on in. So we almost have the player terminated. Okay. There we go. Wham. 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 Yeah, it's covering up the king. Yeah, it's all over. Sorry, it's all over for black. There's no hope for black. Black's toast. Even if he tries this. And he tries something like this, you just bring your rook over. And there's no way to stop this from queening. Boom. The idea is now to potentially get a knight here so that that's playable. Wham. And now he just allotted us an infiltration point to c7, so boy, he's going down in smoke. I don't know, I guess that. But I kind of see the problem because he can come there. Maybe here. Nope, sorry about that, not the king move. So I think checking still would have been okay. Let's see what the response to the check would be though, because okay they move. Okay, so they actually move. Okay, so we have everything right. Okay, if he takes, rook takes, and then rook would have to take there. And then now we're getting ready to, yeah, we just play there. And we just win that. And now, okay, yeah, I think it's winning either way. So we found another way to win. You gotta be kidding me, that was a foolish move on black's part. Very, very not wise. That was a very, very unwise move. That was losing. That was losing. There's no way now in the world that white can be defeated. Wham. Yeah, it's all over but the crying now. And now white can just start gobbling everything up. It's like, really? You're kidding me. Are you serious? Are you serious? Quoted from Paul Bentley. Are you serious? Sorry, I think it's Begley. Sorry. Oops, I gotta make 1 second. Sorry about that. Hold on. Where is common law? Hold on. That's right. Okay. Good game. We'll take a look at. Okay, that's the same. So. We'll look at the London system now. Do some London. That was an excellent game. There's a point at which there was no return for black, and let's see where that was. I'd probably say, where's the no return spot? Probably right here is the no return. There's no way in the world that black can win here. It's all over. You have two connected passers. Yeah, it's sad. Sad state of affair there. Alrighty. Let's see here. We'll get started on d4, knight f6. This is the London system. But it's actually the reverse, the London system versus the reverse ready. And this, there is a, this is more of a subtle move. There's also that. And it's because if this is played, you can always retreat back. And now you have an attack here. Or you could just leave it and then have this come in, and then if he plays there, you retreat your knight back. And the bishop might try to trade off rook, and I don't know if you're okay there. So sometimes h3, even the king of they call him the king of the London system, Gadakomsky. Even Gadakomsky sometimes plays h3. You sometimes gotta do what you gotta do. c3, same setup like Grandmaster Simon Williams. Castles b3. You're just developing, and then queen and c8, and then a4. Now this puts a stop to the advance of b4, b5. This is kind of the idea. If we played something like, let's say rook to c, let's say rook c1, we're just going to say that he has, and actually he doesn't have that. He has, well, maybe he's got that in there. So my idea didn't work out. I was thinking how he can somehow get this and that in, but you'd have to do it kind of slower. a4, c takes. There's also, if c7 was played, there, it's a mistake. I forgot to put the sign mistake in there, because a5 is playable here. And the idea is that if a takes, he can't take, of course, you guys see this way, because if he did, see you later rook. So he can't do that. So the only take that he could do is there. How did that get a, that doesn't deserve a question mark. I don't know how that got a question mark. That should not have gotten a question mark. Odd. d7, and then we just crunch. He can't take with the rook, of course. You guys see why. Boom. So he can only take with the pawn, and now the pawn on d6 ends up becoming a liability throughout the entire game for black. it's a total liability. Yes, it later on will allow him to have some space, but he's got to be careful. He can't trade down. And now if white trades down, white will have two isolated pawn, not isolated, white will have two pawn chains, or two pawn islands, sorry. Black will have three. And the more pawn islands you have, the weaker your position is. So there, takes. And then b4, wham. b4, black cannot exploit the weakness on c3. It looks kind of like, wait, aren't you making a pocket here for the knight to go to? No, because it's protected twice, and black can't take scope on this here because the knight has to retreat back and only has one square to go to. Because if it goes here on b3, the knight could take and win. So, or the queen would probably take, more likely, to hold on to this pawn, and it'd be game over at that point. So C, and now the pawn is protected by the queen, b3. e5 is a playable move, but there's also another playable line, which is d5, which can be met by bishop d3, e6 for black, a, and then b takes. And here white is happy with the choice of here. And so let me see, yeah, this is a choice that he's happy with right there. Okay, and he has pressure along the b file here. He can play potentially either a b1 or rook e b1, one of those, and he's got pressure along the b file. That's if he takes. If white kind of wants to just let black have a thorn in the side for a while and doesn't mind black having a pass pawn, b5 is playable here, and knight goes back because the knight's under fire, and then a4. Now white will regain this pawn with substantial pressure along the a file. What more likely black's going to do, white's going to do, is play rook e1 to a1 and take advantage of the pawn here. And white's position is well suited for an attack. So black's going to lose one of these pawns, maybe even both, if with proper play from white. So e5 to avoid that. E takes, a knight takes e5, and then rook d1. Okay. Queen moves to c to kind of take an eye scope on the pawn. We takes, and then bishop to f3. This is a dazzling strategic decision. White correctly allows his kingside pawn structure to be weakened or broke apart in return for central pressure. So yes, once the light square bishop comes off the board, both light square bishops, you have to remember that this is black's best piece, is the light square bishop. So in theory, if we get rid of it, we now have a very active bishop here with a double attack on the pawn. So even if the queen takes and we take and rook takes, you'll see in one of the lines that's strong, the taking there. So sometimes I mark these so that I know where my notes, I go to my notes. So he takes first the knight, rook takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then knight f e8. There is a I know you're probably wondering what happens if queen takes c3, right? It leads to a difficult endgame for black, and this is why. So oops, sorry, got to, whoa, yikes, I went a little too far. There we go, takes there. Queen takes, and then bishop takes the pawn, and now it's forking the rook and knight, so the rook has to take the pawn back. The king comes up to attack the rook, f, and then the rook now double attack the knight, so the knight moves, and now it goes to the 7th rank, and it's eyeballing that, as Maurice Ashley and Yaz would say eyeballing, but I just say eyeing the a7 pawn. So e8, bishop d4. You can't touch this pawn. Of course, you guys see why. If you touched there, he'd have to come back, and it would be checkmate. So you cannot touch that pawn, not one bit. So the king moves, knight takes, and then we grab the pawn. Knight comes in with check. The king moves to h2. Whatever you do, you don't want it. You have to be careful with your king when it's open like that. b5, and then the exclam a5. There's no way now for basically white's a pawn is going to queen. And I gotta say that this is a hard move to find. The hard move to find is I'm gonna let you guys think about what move is white gonna play here. This is kind of a tough. It's not really a tough move, but you have to see all the way through. What move do you think that white should play here? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. That would be an interesting move. The only problem is you would lose a piece. But it is an interesting move. Just do your best. Just think of an outside of the box move. Remember, your whole goal is to queen the pawn. We don't mind what happens on the king side. h4. That is an interesting move too. Yeah, h4. You could take, and then if king comes up, maybe g5 and potentially a mate to boot on that. Close. That is a good move. Not a bad move. Not a bad move. But there's one that's even better than that. That is a good move, but there's one that's even better than that one. It looks like crazy, like it can't be played, but h4, that's a good move too. I did look at that, so that does that. I would say that I'll keep that line in there because that is an interesting idea for white. h4. I really didn't think of that because I was just a little too concerned about potential mating threats, but this is an interesting move. I'll be right back. I'll give you guys a second to kind of think about this position. What move would white play? It's kind of an unorthodox move, and you have to see the entire board. I'll be right back. rook c7. Yeah, it's a little too it's a little slow. This would be even a hard move for me to see. All those are good moves, but it's actually bishop to c5. It kind of is like, what? Are you serious? Are you serious? Can you actually play this? Yeah. Because then you just retreat your king back, and it's like, what? Because think about it. Now we have the ability with a check, right? And we can walk our pawn down the board. And remember, these pawns do not have enough time to get going. We're 3 squares away from queening, and they're, let's see, 1, 2, 4. They're 5 squares away. So we're 2 squares ahead of our opponent for queening. So and that was a decision that was in the book, and I was like, that's cool. So we're gonna go. It's gonna make the screen go kind of awkward back to move 21. So get ready, womp. There we go. That was cool. That was a deep move. Okay. And this is what it says back here. Sorry, I need to where did I go wrong here? Hold on, right here. I'm gonna go back to that point. Hey, how you doing? It says this. Despite black having an extra pawn, it is unlikely black can muster enough attack or defense to stop the A pawn from queening. So there's no way that there's not enough time for black to stop the queening. The pawn will eventually queen, and what'll happen is if something's played like this, I'll just put a marker so I know where to erase to. Just hold on. Just let me put a marker. If this is played, first of all, you could play there. And if he goes over here, this is horrible because he loses a rook, so he can't do that. That's a no-no. So the only move that he can go to is over here, and then boom, now the knight's under fire, and so another pawn's gonna fall. So if something like this, you potentially could actually let's see here. How could we? Oh, we can just check there first. Check. If he comes back over here, you just grab another pawn. So you just start gobbling up material. Then if he tries to hold that, then you can actually come over again, and you're gonna walk this. And if he plays there, you just start walking. And now you get to do your sweet favorite trick. This is, I'll just show you. Even if you just took here, you don't have to take with a bishop. You could just do the old trick. Boom. That's kind of a cool idea. I looked at that. I was like, so yeah, we'll delete that. Delete that. Okay, that's kind of the idea what he was talking about. Okay, so now we'll go back to rook to e4, e3, and then f4 exclam. Because what happens is if he takes, which is what he does, it's a blunder. And that's a blunder, or a mistake. There's an even worse blunder here. If e4 is played, which was what a player is thinking. Of course, black can't pass with e4 because of because of pawn f5, and this just wreaks havoc on the queen's under fire, the rook's being attacked here, and here double attack. So e4 is a pure blunder. The proper move is knight to e8 with the idea of preparing to go to, let me see here, I'm going to check my notes real quick. Let me get to my point. Okay. Right there, perfect. I'm on my notes now. G7, and then knight is trying to reroute everything in, and at this point it says, and white still has some work ahead of himself to convert this, because now it's going to be a little difficult for white to convert, because white's the one now with 3 pawn islands, not black. But white does have enough attack to muster as enough. It's going to be a little difficult, but back here, knight to e8 was the move. He made a inaccurate / mistake. E4. He takes f4. Rook takes, and then checks. King comes up, and now the rook goes to e6 exclam, because this is just an incredibly good move. The rook has to come over, so now bishop takes. So we acquired our pawn back, if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, here we go. Queen takes the pawn, and then bishop goes to e5, and it's like, whoa, the eternal pin has been created. That's what they call it when it's pinned against the king and there's no way for the king to really ever get out of it without losing a piece. They call it the eternal pin. There, and then queen to g4. At this point, black decided to cash in his chips and move on to another game, because it's over. Because what happens, black is helpless in the eternal pin. After the queen trades, the winning plan is for white to be to march his king. After this trade, we'll put a marker so I know where to stop. And okay, if this happens, you play there, and if he kind of plays that, you just march your king up. And this is kind of, or maybe better. Sorry, I can even do better. Back here, after takes, he's gonna have to play something like this. If he plays that, he loses. So he's gonna have to play not h5, basically h6. And then we bring the king up, and then if the rook moves, we play it there. The rook moves, and the knight's gonna fall. So that was kind of the basis idea that he was talking about. Once the queens are traded, the king can either come up or the pawn can win the knight. So in summary, this is what he says. When black, let's go back to the beginning part where he said this. Okay. When black trades pawns on d4, so when black trades pawns on d4, let me get to the d4 trade. Black trades pawns on d4. You must recapture with the e pawn. And your expansion on the queen side, or the play for mate on the king side, like Godakovsky did in his game. What they're saying is, in this line here, because you played a4, after you take here, because you played a4, you have two ideas. You have expansion with b4, and you have an attack on the king side. So white has acquired a huge attack. He can do it on the queen side and on the king side. And with that, we will go into our puzzles now. Or if you guys have games you want to go over, we could do that too. So let's see, what do we got here? So castle queen side. Basically, white's in black's in a pin with the queen. Trying to see if is there any way we could retreat our bishop back and go c4. I'm thinking if we play bishop, I'm thinking this. Bishop takes d5. Bishop takes d5, and then c4, and I think that wins a piece, if I'm not mistaken. That wins a piece on the spot. Actually, he can't do, he loses a rook if he does bishop d6. He'll lose a bishop. This is what will happen. If bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, c4, c4, bishop d6, and then c takes d5. Or sorry, c takes d5. Not big C, but c takes d5. We still win a piece in that line. Or do we win a piece? Nope. Oh no. Nope. That's right. Snap. Well, we could take with the rook. No, do we lose? Do we lose? Oh, that is true, yeah. Well, we just take with the queen. That's a... Oh, that was my bad. Well, re-put in this line here. Copy. Duh. Get rid of this. It's queen... queen takes... d5. At that point, queen takes d5. No, then you can check, and then we lose. Oh. Crime in Italy, Batman. Yeah, we actually, he could do a discovery check on that. Ah. I think we're down. No, I think we'd still be up. We'd be, for a rook, we'd have 2 pieces. So I think we'd still be okay. I think we're still okay after, like here, here, there, 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 takes, queen takes, rook takes, and rook takes. No, we have a pawn, so we could take back the rook. Yeah, it is. This is the idea. This is the idea, because the queen is protected by a pawn. The pawn's up here. It is bishop takes, so we are okay. We are okay in that line. It is okay, because here, 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 there, queen takes, the pawn's here, So if the bishop comes over, we take, queen takes, rook takes, and then pawn takes. And we've actually acquired a ton of material. It is that move. No, we don't take with we don't take g7, but b takes is the correct move, first move. And then, wow. So rook takes d5 in this line. Yeah, I was looking at that. It's not that you're. We'll go over this line. I'll show you what could be played, and we'll check that line out too. Cause you know what? Remember, we're all about learning. Okay, so rook takes. Yeah, rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. Queen takes d5. Queen takes d5. C takes d5. And I believe we're up a whole piece in that line. And even if yikes, I'm not sure if we yikes. I don't know if this line actually works because I think you can win the bishop back. Let me retry this. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. Or not rook takes, sorry. Queen takes e5. Rook takes e5. Rook to d1. King h2. And then rook takes c1. I forgot to put a check there. Sorry about that. On d1. So we gotta find something. What are we missing here? I'm trying to figure out whether there's something here. There's a move here we gotta find. Let's see, rook d5, rook takes d5. Ooh, nice. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Queen d4, because that threatens if the bishop tries to move. If the bishop moves, back rank mate. So I believe that's right on track. Yeah, I like that. Well, we can actually take and then take again. So we take on C takes d5. C takes d5. Bishop takes d4. D takes e6. Or do we? I think this doesn't work. I don't think it works because now that we look at this, so here, there, there, there. Yikesies, yikesies. Yeah, I think that's right. Nice. Good job, defense. Man, that was chess blindness right there. Almost missed it. Uh-oh, wait a second. We were gonna go back. My bad. Sorry about that. We gotta go back on this. Hold on. There we go. And we're up 2 pieces. And what was the other idea that we were looking at? Oh yeah. Okay, c6. Okay, pawn takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes, pawn takes, and then we can play bishop to e and then develop. So where? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I got you. After, okay, after here, here. Oh, good. You can't have a bad day when the Lord allows you to do chess and learn and teach it. You can't have a bad day with that. Okay, let's see here. So the move or order if c4. Oh, c4. Oh, bishop d. Gotcha. Bishop d. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So queen takes c6. Okay, just retreat back. Gotcha. Yeah. And okay, you lose a... You can't take because of that, so you just gotta move. You gotta be careful if you take, because you have to move back then. I'm thinking knight's best, yeah. That's an interesting one for sure. Good find there. We're so close to mate almost. We almost have checkmate. I'm thinking maybe king to h3. This is his last flight square right here. Black's last flight square. And so if we can take that away, we can actually get checkmate. So like if we go king king h3, king h3, a takes b 4, that's a double question mark. Where's the question mark? That's actually a blunder. Then we play rook f, or maybe it's not a blunder. No, well, no, yes, it is a blunder. Yes, it is a blunder, because it loses a piece. So rook f1, bishop has to go to f4, rook takes f4, check. Oh, I have to go back. Rook f1 is a check. King e5, e5, not king e5, and then the knight go. Well, what could we do with the I'm not sure after king e5 at this point. Maybe we just check. But that gets closer. Well, does it get closer? Huh. I know we pick up a piece in that line. I'm just trying to figure out, is that the move that we want to play? Is it king to h? What are we missing here? Huh. If you guys have any ideas, I'm more than happy for you to put in for the puzzles, because we'll go over them. Yeah. Okay, so this is what Fox put in there. Okay, rook f1 check. King is forced to go to g4. Knight d7. If the bishop retreats back, well, maybe we do. That does throw a kink in that setup. We could go c3 and then sacrifice a pawn to get that idea. If we went c3, d takes c3, rook f1, check, king g4, knight d7, bishop moves. Bishop would probably have to maybe I'm all wrong. For some reason I'm trying to figure. Oh, the king protects. I'm a little concerned about this. C takes c3, d takes c3, c3, rook f1 check, king g4, knight, d7, bishop takes, g3. I'm not sure what to do from there. Well, maybe we check. Oh no, we can't check. Because even if we tried, like if we tried this here, so I think he'd gobble all the pawns and we'd be done for. Could just move the king after. Instead of c4, we could just move the king. I'll take your line here. Well, that's gotta be a check. Oh, we can't go there. Ah! No. So yikes. Okay, that doesn't work. I think we lose maybe too much. We do pick up a bishop though. Let's give it a shot. I think he can actually... So let's see. So king g4, c4. What happens if he takes in passing, though? What happens if c4, d takes c4? But then can't he, though, can't he just play bishop takes g3, though? Can't he just play bishop takes g3? g3? Well, then his king, well, after bishop takes, and we try to check. But then, but yeah, it allows, but the problem is, copy, paste, if we play knight f, f stat check, f6 check, he can play king takes h4, though. Knight d3. The only problem with knight d3 is, remember, this rook will take c2. If knight d3, rook takes c2 equals check, and then we're in a pickle, a bigger pickle than we can even imagine. We're in the pickle jar with the top on and no way to get out. That would not be a fun thing. Oh. Well, the king would then be able to go back to f5 at that point. Well, see, if this is the line that you're thinking, okay, copy. Let's get that, copy. king will go to king f5. Yeah, you have this. This has to be precise. We have to make sure because this has to be 100% right. We have to set. We have everything. We have a mating net perfectly for our opponent. We just now have to find out how to mate him. No, you're fine. I'm glad you guys are putting in because I gotta tell you, this puzzle is a really tough one. We have really two options here. We have C4 or C3. Huh. This is total. This is a stump. I'm kind of stumped here. Boy. Wow. I don't know what this is. This is very irritating. I can't figure this out. I'm looking at everything, guys. I don't, I'm just puzzled. Hmm. That is a good try. I looked at that. The king would just go back to e5 at that point. If rook e1, king f5, he'd repeat back and forth. Okay, g4. Couldn't he play uh, king takes g4? Oh, let's give that a shot. Oh. Huh. Well, it makes sense. So that's not the best. Okay. Let's take a look at there's no way to stop queening. Okay. Oops. We checked there, so that this is actually where it started. It was our turn, so we checked. So not a problem, guys. Hey, that was a good one. Not a problem. Do you guys have any other lines you want to look at besides it before I log off? Yeah, guys, have any other lines you want to look at after this point right here? Yeah, that's correct. Foss, do you have any? Okay, can we look at? Gotcha. Rook, King G, C4. So he takes D4, E4. Bishop takes E4. Knight takes G. I think it is. That's what they're. Well, the engine thinks it's correct. See, and then let's see what's the computer rank it at. Okay. I think it's a draw at this point. It's a draw. So it's a draw. Are you guys all good? I'll give you guys 1 minute. 1 minute to type anything in you want on the lines. Then I gotta log off at 1:20. So if you guys got any ideas, put them in now. Sorry, right there. And I mean, at this point here. Okay, take that as a no. Perfect. Alrighty. So, well, guys, you know what? Quoted from Paul Begley. Are you serious? Are you serious? You know, that type of puzzle was Are You Serious puzzle. But remember that, you know what, we learned from it, and knowing it's not enough, we must apply. And willing is not enough, we must do. That's the whole thing. We have to remember that. And then we have to remember what Hannibal Smith said, that a plan is only good when you're the one that's basically dictating the outcome of it and knowing where it's going to go before it even starts. That's a plan. And then when the plans always work out, we get to say it. I love it when a plan comes together. Remember, we got to keep Hawaii in your prayers and thoughts, guys, because supposedly there's a hurricane that's going to be hitting Hawaii, and so just keep them in your thoughts and prayers that everything's okay. Okay, and remember, like Meet the Robinsons, you have to let each problem roll right off your back, learn from it, and keep moving forward. That's the whole thing. The Lord will always be with us through there. So, and sometimes you have to stop, breathe, and then believe. And I'll leave you with those thoughts, guys. And okay, as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless. And I'll see you guys next time on Just Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening. And guys, remember, keep studying chess, keep getting better, and use the mind the Lord's given you. And Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll go over some puzzles, some studies, and some games if you guys bring them, and we'll keep pushing forward. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye, guys.